Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Uncharted 3 crushing difficulty video walkthrough. This is the 9th mission of the game, or the 9th level, and it's entitled The Middle Way. So at the start of this video, you're now going to be putting up with Charlie, who's messed up thanks to that dart that he received in the neck on the last cinematic. We've got a trusty torch in hand, and we're moving through some pretty closed environments, and anybody that's been following the guide so far or played the game will know that he's claustrophobic. And what this does is, this is the equivalent of poking a bear with a stick, or being a dumb fucking tourist who sits next to the cages past the warning sign with the polar bear. So, obviously, dude's gonna kick off, shit's gonna get serious, and we're gonna have to fight him. But it's a very strange fight, and I'm not even sure how it works. What's going to happen is he's going to come at you as if he was just any other dude you've beaten up before, and he's going to be a lot more aggressive than your standard fight. You'll be doing a lot of counters, and one way of getting through this fight is to just keep bashing triangle if you're not confident in countering, because you'll do nothing but counter. Obviously, if he grabs you, you'll have to bash circle, but I do believe that you have to hit him a little bit just to, get him to choke you, which is what ends the fight. So I would say just be as aggressive as you can and just try beating him up as best you can. But bear in mind, he will hit you a lot more than other people do, so you need to be prepared to counter him a lot. So his little charge there does a lot of damage. If he hits you with that skull, it's game over. Excuse me. And if your life gets a little bit low, just run away from him and keep pressing triangle, because then if he tries to attack you, you'll just dodge him every time, and that gets you your life back. And then you can carry on. And you'll notice, I'm evading him now, thinking that this will time out eventually, and it doesn't seem to work that way. I think you've got to hit him a bit. So just beat him up, just wail on him. I was trying this, it didn't seem to work. He started getting one too many punches in for my liking, and I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to smack his teeth in. And that's what I end up doing towards the end, but there may be some way of doing this fight, there may be some logic to it, I just couldn't figure it out. And that's it, that's the last straw then. I push him away, and I think, once I get my life back, I'm going to start fighting him. We'll soon find out. 2 dodges, there's the counter punch, there's the grab, there's the counter, there's the punch. Come on, start punching him. Punch him! There we go! Now it turns into a fight. Couple of backhands, like a woman. Go on, take him out. But it can be a challenging fight, this, because if he hits you 3 times, you're dead. 3 times in a row, should I say. He's hit me more than 3 times in the video. It's got to be in succession. And eventually, he'll do this, where he starts to choke you. And when he starts to choke you, you've got to tap circle, but that's the end of the fight, because it's all programmed, it's all what's supposed to happen. And then Sully and the others come and save you. And, excuse me, after the cutscene, we're back in the So this is a section now where the pacing in the game mixes itself up once again. And if the outside shootouts were the peak, this would be the valley. Because what's going to happen is we'll walk into this lovely looking puzzle room, this lovely crypt, and we're going to have to start using a bit more of our mental aptitude as opposed to our just ruthless brawn. And what you've got to do first is you've got to light all these statues on fire by pressing triangle on them with your torch. And I think I light all of them except for one, and then Charlie lights the final one. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be lighting these torches to get to a sluice way that's going to open up some water. But there's going to be spiders everywhere, so you're going to need the fire to stay alive, pretty much. And I've just passed just then the exit into the next area, but I ran back around here because I think it's just on this corner the one I've got to light. And you'll notice Charlie goes over and lights it for me, so I can continue back over here. There is the last one. All these are doing are projecting a light onto that globe down there, and we need to manipulate the globe to do the puzzle. But to manipulate it, we need to make it float in water. So what you do is you move through these little catacomb areas here, you come up to this lovely brazier, or wherever the hell it is, and then this is the room with more of the spiders. And this is kind of weird, this section, because you've got to throw the torch, and throwing the torch is like throwing the grenades. The only problem with it is, it doesn't seem to land where the aimer shows you it's going to land, so you have to adjust your throw a little bit. And it's definitely a feeling, it's a gut feeling more than anything. It takes a little bit to get used to, and the main reason for this is you never have to do it anywhere else in the game. It's just a one-off area. But there's an infinite supply of torches if you do miss your shot, so don't worry, you're not going to get stuck here forever if you fuck up. But just know this much, if you don't light them and you try and jump across, you will get mauled by spiders. But how you aim, if you watch, that one worked perfectly, but some of them usually don't. So what I do to get it is, I generally aim a little bit further than I want to aim. So just do it a little bit past where you want it to land is pretty much the way of doing it, or the way I found of doing it anyhow. So throw that one up there. That one missed, which is a good example of you know, fucking up these throws. But once you've lit that one, you need to jump across towards that chain. And what will happen here is, once you've finished going across the chains, you're going to be on a platform that doesn't have any light, and you have to get to that one that we're throwing at right now as quick as you can. The game itself makes a big fuss about this, but don't worry, I've never died doing this section. You've got ample amounts of time to get yourself across. So, and as per usual, be careful on the chains are a pain in the arse. And then once you're up here, you just have to walk across the beam and climb up to where the lit torch is. So nothing too challenging. Everything's pretty damn simple. Pick up a torch and then light the one across from you. And it's a pretty simple level, this one. It's pretty standard, pretty easy, and it's not too long, which is always nice. The one that follows this one gets a little bit more tropical, I will say that much, but there's a couple of tombs on this game, and every time you go into them, they're really, really fun. And the first time you get there, there's generally a few puzzles that you have to figure out that'll take you a little bit of time to do. Second time through the game, the tombs seem to go super fast purely because you know the answers to everything then. And I don't know, it's one of those things where you can only have your first playthrough once, which is very true in a game like this, especially when everything's so cinematic, but I do think it's just as fun the second time through as it was the first time through. That might just be me, but sometimes knowing what you're doing is as fun as figuring out what you're doing. But go to the sluice gate, open it with the joy of pressing triangle, and then you get to get Nate all nice and wet now by jumping in the water and seeing his lovely shirt get all nice and drenched and sodden, and just some really, really nice visuals on the clothing getting wet. And I said I got a couple of niggles with the game that I complained about. There's a couple of visual ones I would have liked as well, because this is a company that loves detail. This is a company that puts a lot of detail into things, and it would have been cool if throughout the levels your suit got a little bit knackered, like your arms started to tear and your jeans teared a little bit, and just things frayed and what have you. And I'm not talking about, you know, the Wolverine Origin game where if you got shot enough times your entire torso stripped away to nothing but meat. I just mean, you know, preset moments in the level where when he falls off of something he rips his shirt or something, you know, just to make it flap a little bit in the wind, just to give it that extra bit of detail. And you change outfit enough that it could be a feasible thing to do, because you're always going into a different area of the world and you're always changing what you're wearing, so it could have been something really, really cool. And the other thing I would have liked to have seen as well is when you're doing the fights, or the cinematic cutscene fights, if people had have had blood when you punch them, you know, just something a little bit better like that, because it's a bit empty when they're smacking each other with bottles and punching each other with, you know, full-on, really tough punches, and nobody's getting cut up or bled or anything. It's just everyone's smiling and shrugging it off. And this section here, I've actually sped up my movement of this ball, because it took me ages to find the part of the world that you have to put this thing in. And I do believe it's like Iran or Syria or something like that you have to put it, but it can be difficult to decipher where the countries are on the map, because it's a bit weird at times. So all you have to do is, as soon as you find Europe, you need to go right and down from Europe. And you have to rotate the ball with the right analog stick to make it fit. So there's Europe. There's where we need to put it. Did you see it? Just rotate it, and it'll fit in nice and perfectly. No idea where that place is. No idea whatsoever. But I recognised Greece and Italy and all those good places, so it's probably something off the coast of that. Like Northern Africa area. Just to the left of India or something. But once you've done that, you can now go up to the top, as it's opened up the next avenue, which is going to lead us into a crypt. And the crypt is nice and simple this time. We don't have to do any puzzles to open the sarcophagus or anything. We just have to do the Uncharted thing of, you know, listening to some talking, listening to some awesome dialogue, and, you know, enjoying yourself. Because that's the main thing about this game when you're playing it. If you don't have fun playing this game, you're probably the most bitter person alive, because there's just something fun about them. It's like when you first watched Indiana Jones. There's an innocence to it that you can't muster on anything else. There's a big conversation here that I've just trimmed out and dropped a crossfade on, and all you have to do now is find an exit from the tomb, and the exit to the tomb is marked by light. If you go over to this wall and you press triangle, you'll examine it, and it's going to push us through to the second part of the level, which you're going to see in the next video. So as per usual, guys, thank you for watching. I hope it's helping. If you're new and you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. It's just going to keep getting bigger and better. If you're an old favourite and you're coming back for more, please continue to do what you do. You keep me striving to put the videos up. You keep it worthwhile. And as always, people, you take care now.